Welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. We are college students who create learning activities for kids. Our fun activities are focused on reading, writing, and math. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mackenzie, and in today's lesson we are going to be learning about how to compare and contrast informational text using a Venn diagram. Before we learn about how to compare and contrast text, we must first understand what each of those words mean. Do you guys know what compare and contrast mean? If so, you're already a step ahead. We're going to go ahead and fill out some notes and write down the definitions for compare and contrast. Go ahead and take out a piece of paper, a pencil, and some crayons and markers. We are going to create a note sheet for each word so that we can better understand what they mean. I have prepared a note sheet today that defines compare and contrast and helps us with some guiding questions. You're first going to want to fold your paper in half, like so. Then you'll unfold it and draw a line down the middle of the paper where the fold is. Next, you're going to want to title each side Compare and Contrast. After you title each side of the paper, we're going to write down the definitions. Compare means to find the similarities between two things. Contrast, on the other hand, is the opposite, and it is when we find the differences between two things. Next, we are going to write down some questions that we'd ask when comparing and contrasting. When comparing two things, you'd want to answer the following guiding questions. Number 1, what are the similarities between the main points? Make sure you're writing these questions down in your notes as we will use them later. Our second question for comparing is, what similarities do you think are the most important? And our last question for comparing is, are there any key details that both stories have? Up next, we have contrast. Some of the guiding questions we use when contrasting are, number 1, what are the differences between the main points? This is where you take the main idea from each story and show how they are different. Number 2, which differences are the most important? And number 3, what are the differences in key details between the stories? Key details are different from main parts of the story in that they are not the main idea, but small parts that support the main idea of the story. Now that we have written down our notes, we are going to read two different texts that discuss the same topic. So go ahead and put your notes to the side. The story we are going to read today is called Should Students Pay to Play? I will first read this introduction, and then we're going to read two different arguments. Alright, should students pay to play? Public schools are supposed to be free, but many of them no longer are. More and more schools are charging for activities and supplies. Many schools now charge a pay-to-play fee. A pay-to-play fee bills parents for their children's after-school sports activities. The fee helps to pay for equipment and coaching. It also pays for bus rides to and from games. State and local taxes used to cover students' activities and supplies. But the cost of education has gone up. At many schools, tax money can no longer pay for everything. Many schools are in a tough spot. They want to provide students with the same activities they offered in the past, but they don't have any money to pay for them. Are pay-to-play fees the answer to the problem? Read the debate, then decide for yourself. We are now going to read two different texts that argue the opposite thing on whether or not students should pay to play. Is yes, students should pay to play. This author states, a lack of money has forced some schools to charge students and parents for courses and books. Free books and classes are more important than free sports programs. Schools should charge students for sports before they make them pay for books and classes. After all, education should come first at schools. Schools don't want to charge for sports, but many have to. Where else are you going to turn? Asked Gary Frisch, a school official. The pressure to find money moves somewhere. It's falling on the shoulders of parents and students. Some schools, like those in Chicago, get extra money from their states. The money is given to them because many of their students are poor. Often, the schools that get extra funding have lower pay-to-play fees. Some charge no activity fees. Other schools and states should use that system. Fees are good for school sports. They weed out players who aren't serious about a sport. That makes teams stronger. Fees also make students put a higher value on playing. Now that we have read the first text, why don't you guys try to come up with a summary of what we just read? What is this author saying? Can you tell me? Well, this author is basically saying that they think students should pay to play because it will instill a higher value on playing and it will build stronger teams. Now we're going to read our second text. This text is titled, No, Students Should Not Pay to Play. Sports are important. They teach students about leadership and teamwork. If schools charge fees, they should not limit fees to just sports. They should charge for classes too. Experts say that many teens weigh too much. Sports help students become fit. Fees discourage students from playing sports. Students who know they might sit on the bench might not try out for sports if there is a fee. Schools need more money. Fees are not the answer to the problem, though. Schools should hold more fundraisers to raise money. Fundraisers can be fun for students. They also teach students about working as a team. Some schools don't make poor families pay sports fees. That helps students who are willing to ask for help, but many students are too ashamed to say they can't afford the fees. Sports fees are unfair to those students. Students need the freedom to try different sports. That way, they can find out which sport suits them best. Fees keep many students from developing their talents. Now that we have read the second text, can you guys come up with a summary? The main important ideas from this author is that they do not think students should pay to play, as it makes students feel left out and they don't develop their talents. Now that we have read both sides of the argument, we are going to create a 3D Venn diagram. You are going to need 2 paper plates, a pencil, markers, and/or crayons, and a stapler or glue. If you do not have paper plates, you can also use 2 circles cut out from paper. Once you have your paper plates or paper circles, you're going to place one on top of the other, slightly overlapping them. Like this. Now you are either going to glue them in place or staple them together. I'm going to use a stapler. And then I'm going to staple the other side. Now that I have done that, I'm going to go ahead and draw in some lines to help us create our ovals. You can use any color you would like. So we're going to go ahead and trace where this paper plate starts. Go ahead and just trace the entire circle. Now do the same for the other circle. You're going to want to guess where the other part of the paper plate would be and draw it on your first plate that's on top, like this. This gives us 3 ovals. 1, 2, 3. Now that we have our 3 ovals, we're going to title each one. Again, you can use any colors you'd like. The first oval is going to be titled after our first story. No, students should not pay to play. You can do it at the top, you can do it around the side, wherever you would like. I'm going to go ahead and do it around the side. So our title is No, Students Should Not Pay to Play. Now that we have that side titled, we're going to go ahead and title our third oval. We're going to leave the middle one blank because it is going to include information from the first and second story. Now for our other story, we are going to title it Yes, Students Should Pay to Play. Now that we have each one titled, we're going to fill out the information. Our first oval is going to be based off the first story. Yes, students should pay to play. We're going to write the ways in which this story is different from the second story in this first oval. We will be contrasting both of the stories in the first and the third oval. Within these two ovals, we are going to write down all the details and important points that appear in the text that are different from the opposite text. Remember our helpful questions when we use contrasting. You can pull out your note sheet if that is more helpful for you. Within the first oval and the third oval, I want you to think of the question, what are the differences in main points? Can you guys write that down in both of these? For instance, I would put, believe students should pay for sports and other after-school programs in the first oval, and does not think sports and activities should cost money in the third oval. So you can go ahead and paraphrase if you'd like and put, sports should cost money in the first oval, and sports should not cost money in the third oval. These two statements contrast the story and show the differences between the two main ideas. Sports should cost money and sports should not cost money. Now I want you guys to answer another contrasting question. What are the differences in key details in both the first and the third oval? Can you think of a detail? One detail that I found different in the first story was that the author believes sports should cost money to ensure free books and classes. The contrasting key detail in the second text that I found was the belief that if sports and activities cost money, so should some classes and books. So to keep it simple, what we would write in the first oval is, books and classes should be free. They believe that books and classes should be free, which is why they think you should charge for sports to keep them free, whereas the second author said, if sports cost money, so should books and classes. So we will put that. Books and classes should cost money, but remember, they mean only if sports cost money as well. What other key details or important points are different within each story? Go ahead and write those down in the first and third oval. One main difference I found that was in the first story was that they believe charging a fee to play sports makes teams stronger because it weeds out those who aren't serious about the sport. Whereas the second text said the opposite, stating that the fee keeps many students who can't afford them from playing and developing the talents, not because they aren't serious about the sport, but because they don't have the money. So what we will write in our Venn diagram is the first oval, you will write sports fees, weed out non-serious players. In the third oval, we would write sports fees keep students from playing. Now that we have contrasted the stories, let's find the similarities between the texts. In what ways are the stories alike? Let's try to identify the main idea that both texts share. Write your thoughts in the middle oval. Can you guys come up with anything? The main idea I came up with was that both authors discussed whether or not schools should charge a fee for sports. To summarize, in the middle you can write, should sports cost money? As both authors discussed this. Now we are going to answer one of our comparing questions. What are the similarities and key details? We will put the shared key details in the middle oval as well. What are the shared key details that you guys found? One key detail I found was the belief that schools need more money. So we would write schools need more money. What other key details did you guys find? One thing I found was that both texts talk about how some schools have fees for sports but don't charge for them, or they make them more cheaper for the students who cannot afford to pay them both. So, to summarize in the middle, we will put schools get rid of the fee or make them cheaper. And just like that, our Venn diagram is complete. Now that we have compared and contrasted each story, do you guys think that sports should cost money? Yes or no? And that is all we have for you today. Thank you for learning with us today. We hope you come back and learn some more. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will be back with more videos. Goodbye!